her family and the parents of other little children after allegedly she was raped inside a toilet cubicle of a restaurant on Saturday. The man allegedly snatched her from the female bathroom at a Dross, blocked her mouth, took her to the male toilets and raped her. The Dross restaurant franchise has confirmed only that an incident involving a minor took place at the Dross in Silverton in Pretoria. We reached out to the franchise, but it's sticking to its written statement, saying it cannot comment much further since the matter is under investigation. Well, to discuss, we're joined by Dr. Shahida Omar, who is the Teddy Bear Foundation Director. Doctor, thank you for being with us. You've seen so much, heard so much, but does this still make you want to despair?
Well, I think it's just abysmal, it's dismal, it's shocking, it's just unacceptable. After so much awareness raising, public campaigns, the hashtag #MiniMeToo, and reaching out to children, reaching out to caregivers, to parents, it's just not acceptable that children continue to suffer from the scourge of sexual violence.
Is this Dross statement rubbish? Since when did a rapist get off because the venue in which something took place spoke out and showed some compassion?
No, this is utter nonsense. It's rubbish. And I think we cannot sit back and allow this to continue. And people have to be held accountable. People have to be brought to book. And actions have consequences. Law enforcement agencies need to come to the call here. They need to take more swift and rapid action. And even the criminal justice system needs to be consistent and swift in their responses.
Let's just run through this. So what we know is that a 20-year-old man, according to an eyewitness, was watching children having a glass of water, stalking his prey. Where does the responsibility of the restaurant start and end, firstly?
Well, I think, there's the rights and responsibilities here, and that there's different levels of responsibilities. Firstly, that of the primary caregivers or custodians of the child. So one of the custodians would be the caregivers. The other custodian would be a restaurant where they're providing play facilities, but they need to ensure that those play facilities are secure and that nobody should have any kind of access to children. So I think there's different levels of responsibility and people have to be held accountable for that. Of course, one cannot blame any single party here, because if one looks at the parents, I think it was not purposeful or deliberate negligence on their part, nor was it deliberate on the part of the restaurant. But I do think they cannot be let off the hook, because there needs to be some kind of screening measures, there needs to be some kind of camera surveillance. So people here have not done what they should have done to ensure the safety of their clientele, the safety of children, especially when there are play facilities created there for children.
Dross is not talking about that at all. It sounds like there was a childminder who let the child go to the toilet. However, what does that say to parents? Do you have to watch your children 24/7? That is the South African situation.
Unfortunately, that is the reality, the grim reality in South Africa. One cannot let one's child out of sight even for a few seconds. I think opportunistic sexual predators are on the lookout, are waiting for this kind of access and availability to children, to lure children and to violate children. So that is what we are faced with. Unfortunately, it's a tragic situation for this child, and this is not an isolated incident. I think people need to be aware that there have been numerous other incidences similar to this situation. So we cannot take it for granted that children going to these kind of social settings and recreational settings are going to be safe. I think parents need to be more vigilant wherever they are, whether it's in a restaurant, whether it's in a shopping mall, whether it's in a banking mall, wherever they are. They cannot let their children out of their sight even for a few seconds.
Well, let's end off. You're saying this is tragic. I mean, this is not a normal situation. Parents in this country, like you say, should not let their children out of their sight. This is not normal. That children cannot be children. That parents have to live with this constant fear.
Indeed, it's abnormal. It's actually reached pathological states or situations where people have to live with constant paranoia, suspicion, watching over the backs, watching over children all the time, looking out at each person as if he or she is a potential offender. I mean, this is the kind of violence we are surrounded by, and that is the reality, that we find children are being murdered, children are being raped, children are being brutalized every few minutes, unfortunately. So this is something that we have to face up to, we need to stand up to, but we also need to mobilize action and take strong action to bring this to some kind of end, to disrupt the cycle of violence, this intergenerational patterns of violence that we continue seeing and that is perpetuating itself, where children continue to be violated and victimized.
All right, thank you very much. Sure, there are hardly words, and Dross has hardly many words. A very short, curt statement saying I can't comment much further because the situation is being investigated. That was Dr. Shaida Omar.